right, so today we're going to start out with a John Skinner Mossy Mullet, I guess swim bait is what you would call it. I'm going to put some Procure on it just to give it a little more enticement. Why I wanted to test these out, they're the same exact lure as the Slam Shady paddle tails that I've been using, just in a two-tone color, and that color is just absolutely amazing. Mimics, you know, a lot of bait fish in this area, like mama chugs, spot, you know, anything mullet. But we're gonna drop this down, jig it up, and see what happens. All right, we're starting to see, oh, there we, oh, we just had something and lost it. That was quick. And it was just as soon as we passed that little mark, which I think was a striper. See if I can't get the bite again. Oh, there we go. There we go. First fish on the Mossy Mullet. Oh, that's not a perch. Thought it was going to be a perch. All right, man. Definitely a weird feeling fighting a fish with your offhand. That ain't a bad start. Not a big guy, but man, I'll take fish over. Oh man, look at that. Just a pile of fish right here. Now this is going to be the weird thing. I can't really get the cast wet, but we'll sacrifice it for this fish. Whoa! All right, look at that. That's not a bad start, man. One on the Mossy Mullet. Let's get him back. Look, he did not, whoa, he did not want to hang around, that's for sure. All right, man, that's not a bad start. All right, man, so that ain't a bad start to the day. All I did was pretty much cast it out, let it sink down, and twitch, pause. You know, if you've watched some of my other striper videos in the fall, when the water temp starts to get a little bit chillier, these fish are still feeding, they're just a little less active. So I try not to make it too hard on them. You know, the double twitch pause sometimes is the ticket. Now, if we're not having much more luck, we might cast and retrieve, which might be a little bit harder considering my casting accuracy is very spotty at best right now. Oh, there's something. Man, that one thumped it. Oh man, he's gonna run as soon as I get him over here. Trying to bring him across my body so that I could switch hands if we get him close enough. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try and swing him in with this hand. Oh, easy, bud, easy. Just trying to get you off my hook. Man, I'll tell you what, they do seem to like these Mossy Mullet. I'll be honest, they look a lot like most of the bait fish that these fish are currently feeding on, so I think that's why it's such a great lure. Oh, there's a fish. Ooh, this guy wants to run this way. Man, this guy's spinning me around. Sometimes, man, when these fish will run straight for the current, and this actually ain't a bad one. You know, definitely a schoolie, but a little bigger than our first few. Man. Oh yeah, look at that. That ain't a bad one. You might get the net just because the whole one-handed fishing operation is a little bit easier with a net. There we go. That way I'm not trying to drag this guy across my body. That ain't a bad one. Ain't no sense, honestly. I never really measure fish, especially if I'm not keeping them. I'd say it's definitely an undersized fish though, for sure. But there he goes. You know, I never was a fan of measuring fish if you're not keeping them, or if you know what's the point in my eyes. Oh, had him and dropped him. He came back for it. Came back for it. Man, this... And the best thing, man, the last few times I've been out here, I haven't had a working depth finder. Finally put the time in to fix mine. You know, between replacing 2 wires, replacing the battery. This guy nailed it. Oh, there we go. But it is so much easier, man. Not that we're really not looking for fish. What we're really looking for is ledges. And when you find the ledges, man, you find the fish. That's a little dink and a half right there. They're not like one solid... Oh, that's a fish right there. I think there's perch mixed in with the stripers. And if that's the case, I want to, you know, when this bite starts to slow down, I want to switch over to some perch gear. Although I've caught some actually decent sized perch on, you know, swim baits like this. But tell you what, man, the Skinner Mossy Mullet is slowly building momentum in my book. You know, the reason I actually switched over to the Salt Strong swim baits was from a price standpoint. There wasn't anything better. You know, a lot of the prices of baits have gone up with, you know, inflation, and these, you know, when you buy them in bulk, are like 42 cents a piece, which, you know, you'd never think that was a steal back in the day, but compared to the price of, you know, other swim shad, swim baits, whatever you want to call them, you know, it's actually pretty affordable. Oh, whoa, I thought we were stuck on the ledge. I thought that was the ledge. You know, every once in a while when you're drifting over a ledge like we are, you get hung up on it with the, you know, the jig. But usually lifting up on it, you feel right away, you're like, okay, I got it out of that ledge. But when I lifted up on this one, I just felt something fighting back. And that was as soon as I dropped it. Man. And there was one underneath them. I don't know if you saw that. That's pretty cool. All right, man. Tell you what, man, these bass sure give you your money's worth of a fight. I mean, that little guy was pulling drag, and I got that set, you know, pretty reasonable. You know, it's not super tight, not super loose. You know, we're fishing lighter tackle, you know, 12-pound braid, you know, 15-pound mono. So I kind of have my drag set to a decent setting where we can, you know, fight the fish, but also not give them too much leeway. Now, what's crazy is the last time we were out on the kayak, the wind was so bad, I literally couldn't find any area to really hide from it that was holding fish. And, you know, it definitely had me second guessing coming out today, because, you know, the day that we came out last, they were projecting 10 to 14 mile per hour wind, which eventually turned into 25 sustained gust into the 30s, which, you know, on a kayak in freezing temperatures is like a death sentence. Oh, there's a fish right there. And I'm getting a phone call. I'm not sure who's calling me, but they're gonna have to wait a minute. Man. It's funny how they fight a little bit different in this cold, you know. Some of them are a little more lethargic than they are, you know, when the water's a little bit warmer. Oop. Just knocked my paddle off. Total amateur. All right, let's get this guy back in the water. What I was saying earlier about measuring fish, unless you're planning on keeping them or measuring them to see if they're keepers, to me, it's not worth stressing a fish out, you know, for a good picture or to tell you guys exactly how big the fish is. I think you guys kind of understand that most of the fish that we're going to see are, you know, that 24 to 26 range, some being smaller, some being a little bit bigger. That's the first one, and I don't know, we probably caught about 7 or 8 fish on. Probably time to switch over because it's kind of getting beat up. Oh, there we go. Took me a second. It's like clockwork, man, when they run right for that current. Oh, he's coming back this way. Yeah. Mossy Mullet, man. I'm telling you, you hear it first. My new favorite color for cold water striper fishing. I'll tell you what, it truly does look and exactly like a minnow that they're feeding on. And the beauty too of these is they're not like gulp, where if you leave them on your hook overnight, you might as well throw that hook in the trash. You know, they hold up pretty well, I'll be honest with you. There we go. Took me a minute to get down. Oh man, that guy hit it on that last jig. Whoa, whoa. And he just ran straight under the kayak. That is one of the coolest feelings, man, when they thump it. Man. There he goes. Man. Oh, there's a hit. Got him. Man. This is addicting, man. I'll tell you what. Nothing like jigging for stripers. Man. There he is. Try and get him back on this side of the kayak. That way, trying to keep my cast as dry as possible, which is kind of been a little bit harder than I was anticipating. You know, being on a kayak, being so close to the water. There are a lot of cookie cutters, man. Getting used to that tail whip.